never heard that, but that's the origin of CAP. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look.
There's a principle that
Right.
we have to follow.
Yeah.
We have to have.
Be true to yourself. You don't have.
And when I came back, the place was a mess. So I knew I was a mess.
Deep in here now.
It's incredible.
I love it. Me
That's
too.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And applying the recovery, I thought. What's up, everybody out there on planet Earth? It's your favorite recovery Martian back from Recovery Central, 2300 Dumbarton Road. Sitting here with my man Kyle. We want to chop up a little bit about recovery. He's a wealth of knowledge. Had a couple celebrations recently. Well, at least one, didn't you? In November.
Yeah. Just celebrated 4 years. Continuous recovery.
Hell yeah.
So, sweet.
Yeah. Introduce yourself, Kyle. I'm Travis.
Yeah.
And this is.
I'm Kyle.
That's right.
I'm a McShin alumni. Done this podcast a few times. I'd asked to be back, and Travis was like, "Yeah." Until today, he's like, I forgot.
Yeah.
What podcast?
But I got reminded, man. It was a happy reminder too, because I was just sitting down there in the sludges of grinding away. Get to come up here and chop it up a little bit with Kyle, man. I've heard a little bit of Kyle's story too. I've heard it a few times, like in parts and parcels, and we can get into what we want to get into. But there's something very specific that you always say that always like piques my curiosity, Kyle. And it was like that point of sort of desperation, the lights, the flip of the switch.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that point, I got incarcerated. I'd been out the last time I went out using. I'd been on the run, living homeless in Mosby Court, using every single day. I was on the run from a probation violation, and which we'll get into in a minute. But I got locked up. And I was locked up, and I didn't want to use while being locked up because it was expensive.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
expensive. And I just couldn't afford it. I would have kept using while locked up if I could afford it.
Yeah, you can barely afford a soup in there. You know what I mean?
Thank God I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
My clean day would be much different. But I'd been in there about 4 months. I was in the McShin program in the pod.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. If I'm gonna do time, I'm gonna do it the easiest way. I'm tired of, being in the hole, doing all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then got in the McShin pod, and I cruised through there. I didn't try hard, but I also did not try. I just did enough to cruise through.
Follow the rules and do what you gotta do.
I had a plan. I wanted to get on the outside workforce and start doing, just get myself acclimated back to work. And I had a short sentence. I got 15 months that time.
Yeah.
And I'd already done 4 months before bonding out. So I really had no time. I had to do like 8 or 9 months left. And I was like, I want to be prepared for when I hit the street, even if I don't want to be clean.
Yeah.
Then one day, one late evening, it was like in the middle of a shift change, they called me up, Goddard to booking, which is never good.
Yeah.
what
Especially
I mean?
body only,
Yeah. Goddard to booking. It's like, and it's one of two things, bad news or bad news.
Yeah.
And it's like,
take your pick.
It was either an investigator, more charges, or something happened outside the jail.
Yeah.
And they said, you got to call home. And I'm like, man, I was like, dude, it gives me chills just now.
Yeah, man.
They're like, you need to call home right now. And I was like, oh God. And so I get on the phone, call, mom answers. She's on the phone with my brother, which is in prison. He's at the end of a 23-year sentence at that point. So we're on a 3-way call between me, my mom, and my brother that had been incarcerated for going on 23 years at that point, and said, you need to tell your grandmother goodbye. She's getting ready to pass away. And in that moment, she passed away while we were telling her goodbye on the phone from a jail in prison. Man. And that was the moment I was like, screw this, dude. I don't care what I have to do to never let this happen again. But I'm not going to let that happen again. And for me, I knew it had to do something with recovery because I can't not use substances. I didn't know how to. I'd had some clean time. I had almost 18 months before going out on that last time. But, I just knew that I had to do recovery in order for me to never get locked up again and not be there for my mother or my brother or those that I love that have never given up on me. And so what if I look like my grandmother dying on the phone in jail? And so in that moment, I was like, all right, I've got to lock in. This is what I got to do. And so that was the biggest turning point. And I always talk about pain being my biggest motivator.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm so much more grateful, like the house and the dogs and the fiance and all that stuff I'm grateful for that. Don't get that wrong.
Yeah.
But those days out homeless in Mosby, like literally fighting for my life, that those are the moments that I'm most grateful for, because I wouldn't be sitting in this seat today if it wasn't for all those ugly moments.
Yeah, the experiences
Yeah.
and how you've shifted them to help other people. and stuff like that. Was that a yeah, man, I get it too, man. That's like a sign of some maturity too, especially like when you're praying and thanking God, thank you God for all the good stuff, but thank you for this stuff that I went through too, and how it's going to be used to benefit the light side, man. And I get it. And Cal works in recovery and stuff now, so he's definitely putting those experiences to use. Cal, up until that point of incarceration, because that was an adverse consequence that I suffered for many, many years, not that it was a bottom. And similarly, I had gotten some phone calls like that while I was incarcerated too. I wish that I would have had that, like the pain would have been great enough for me in those situations. Unfortunately, it just takes some divine intervention to open my eyes, but it comes in all sort of like shapes and sizes, man. And I love that you use that as a motivator. Had that been like a part of your story all the way up into that point, like incarceration? Or
yeah, my whole 20s was spent in and out, get a couple years and get out for 4 months, go right back for another 9 months, get out, go back for a year and a half. That my whole 20s was like that. I was never a successful user or criminal. But for some reason, my brain was like, try it again.
Yeah.
Try it again.
If I just tweak this and I don't do this part, or
it wasn't until I came to McShin in 2014, and that's when I first got introduced to like recovery. But I was here for like 2 weeks. All this was unfathomable.
Yeah.
So, and then I came back and tried again 2017 or something. And I got a little bit of clean time, but then I came back the third time in 2018, and that's when I got an extended amount over a year. And I'd worked for McShin and then worked for another RCO, and and then I made a decision like, life's great, dude. I got everything I want. I can successfully use again.
I'm
good. In 3 months, it was like
cured.
homeless, lost everything again. And I'm like, I'll just be homeless in Mosby because it's where my drugs are. And,
I don't have to catch a bus. I don't have to walk far.
When I was working in Shockoe Bottom, I'd walk to Shockoe Bottom to work every night, and then walk up the hill, and just literally fight for my life and use drugs all night.
Yeah, man. Was 2014 kind of like your first introduction to recovery? Like what sparked you on
I was working with a guy. We were building fences for Hurricane, and I knew that he had a similar past, and he'd been using substances that I was on, and one day I just said, how'd you do it? He was like 2 or 3 years clean, and I was just like, how'd you do it? And he brought me to an anonymous meeting in the basement here, and I just remember thinking it was like the greatest thing ever. I was like, dude, not that I believed everybody in there. I was like, there's no way y'all are freaking staying clean.
Yeah,
you're not staying off these substances, not the substances I'm using.
Right.
Like, but this is cool. This is awesome. And then I stayed clean for about 24, maybe 48 hours. And then
that's a win.
Yeah, that was a big win. That was a big win then, and that was like,
and
then he was like, well, you could actually go there and stay there. And I'm like, at the church? And he was like, no, they have these like recovery houses and stuff. And that's where me and my wife got clean. And, and he told me the deal. Excuse me. And so I came and tried for a couple of weeks, and I couldn't stop using. I just couldn't. I wasn't ready. And probation was still like, I don't care how long you're at McShin, you still got to face the violation. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Those first couple of times though, like, you try them out, you try it out the first time and it lasts a couple of weeks. That's really a win. And then you try it again and you get kind of like, you put together a little bit of time. You try it a couple times and this is interesting because everybody's not going to get it on the first go around, but sometimes like little seeds are planted along the way, until you eventually get somewhere in your incarceration journey where you're like, I know that I have to do it the recovery way. There was something that told you that, because like you get the phone call and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know I got to do something different, and it's got to be the recovery way.
Right. And that's, I had known, because I had one little bid that was at the Henrico jail, and I was in the RISE program, and I helped run it. I was a coordinator of the first phase or whatever. And so I knew what I could do with recovery, and I knew what recovery could do for my life. And that one longer clean time stint. Yeah. I had watched Cricket actually here. Cricket. I can single-handedly say he's the reason that I really gave recovery an honest shot. Yeah. Because I used with that man.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, dude, if he can do this, any one of me or my friends or family can freaking do this thing. And not to put him down, but he used like I used.
Yeah.
And so I'd seen a post. I was on. Mom had called me that time. Mom had called me. We were on. She was going on family vacation. She's like, "Hey, I'm going on family vacation. pay for you to go. I don't really think you're going to go, but I said, give me $20. I'll be there.
Yeah.
And I got one more, went on family vacation, detoxed, and called Cricket. I was just scrolling while I was detoxing and I seen Recovery Fest, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but that looks awesome.
Yeah. Let me try my hand at this.
So, and he was, it was like a bragging post about Recovery Fest and his clean time and what McShin had done for him and all that. And I was like, I want to come back. And he was like, as soon as you touch your house, I will be there to pick you up. And my disease had kicked in though. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have drugs waiting at the house.
Yeah.
But he beat the dealer.
He was in front of that.
He did. He was there.
Oh,
and as soon as we pulled up, he was 2 minutes behind Mom, and Mom had already got the pillows and stuff at the house and everything for me to go.
Yeah. The care package.
And so then I was like, all right, it's not meant to be. And I came here and had great success because of following people like Cricket at that time. And so I knew what it could do for my life, because in that almost 18 months, my life had tremendously changed. And so I was like, if I go back to doing that, then that's 1,000 times better than this.
Yeah, man.
Because at that point in jail, I was like, you know what, maybe doing life in prison isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'll get high here or there, or, and I'll get in good shape, and my family will know that I'm safe in here at least, what I mean? My kids, I had kind of chalked it up. I like my oldest kid, I really super into my youngest now, thank God. She's only 5 and I've got a little over 4 years, like 4 years, 4 months clean. Nice. So she doesn't really know that me. But my oldest knows that me. She knows the visit room. She knows the, all that stuff. And so I just kind of chalked it up like, hopefully she uses this pain to better herself, and unfortunately I wasn't a fit father. Yeah. But now that's not true. She has her own bedroom at my house. She comes over whenever she feels like it, not, but yeah. That's an interesting point, Kyle, because I had that thought too, and it's a lie of this disease. But you come to a point in your mind where you think incarceration, where like you start and visualizing that you could live the rest of your life out like this, right? I remember even in the early 90s, and I was still pretty young, and I had that thought. It's so weird how the abnormal becomes normal, because I thought that one time too, because I just could not get my together for nothing, right? And I had a thought one time, I think I was either in the old city jail or in Chesterfield jail, and I was like, man, if they would just give me like a half a gram of dope a day, I live my whole life in here.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah.
What else is there? Right?
Yeah, I mean, because it becomes easy, especially once you know how to do time. Like it's easy. It's like, which is not what life is meant to be. And I did, but I had subsided to that. It was like, dude, if I'm out there, I mean, I'm hurting everybody. I'm hurting myself. I'm not
Yeah, in here, my family, like halfway, they always love you, but they're coming to see you. You got some sort of support. You're living healthy. You're eating. You're doing what you got to do. You're exercising. You probably feel better than you ever did out on the street, right?
Absolutely.
So it seems like it can be like, I can see, I know, because I've thought that train of thought, but I can see how you could slip into that, man. And it becomes sort of like the way our eyes are blinded, where we can see possibilities for others, but there's no possibility for us at all. Yeah.
I see people, I knew friends, getting clean, staying clean, doing things, and I'm just like, that's great for them. You know what I mean? Like,
how did they get to that point? Yeah.
I didn't even try to understand that. I was just like,
just a mystery.
I was just like, good stuff, dude. You're not an addict. You know what I mean? You're not a junkie in the hood, like I'm just, you're good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, nor do I was so hopeless that it never felt like that was ever even an option, now to where my dreams that have come true they were unfathomable clean. Just 3 years, 2 years, a year ago, the dreams that I have today were unfathomable while I had some clean time.
Yeah.
So let alone the dreams that I was having, like, of, this, just wanting the active addiction to stop.
Yeah.
They are far succeeding.
Yeah, far surpassing whatever your imagination could think.
Unreal.
And the way that kind of train of thought went with me too, and probably similar to you, that it was like, okay, you could see like, I guess, people that didn't suffer from this disorder. Okay, they're just living regular lives. Okay, that just seems so far-fetched right there. And then I can kind of remember having a train of thought where I would look at people in recovery or just trying to better themselves in any way, and I would be side-eyeing them a little bit, like, when's the bottom going to fall out, Because if I can't do it, nobody can do it. You're just like faking the funk until you can, Yeah. So, but it is possible. When you came around, like that, the last time you came around, so you're incarcerated, and you got to do something different. So your release is getting closer, and this is a lot of people in the jails are going to see this eventually, right? See,
Yes.
eventually this will make it on a tablet somewhere, and kind of like when I'm kicking it with the guys and the ladies in there, I'm always, I'm real big on, what's your plan, almost like minute by minute when you get out, because a lot of plans just fall kind of short, like right after, get a job, get an apartment, like, like that's the two,
Not this time, because my go-to every time to getting out was like, even if I went to an RCO, it was like, I need to get back to work. I need to do this because I need my kids back, or I need to get this female back, or I need to get whatever it was that I was chasing to get back. And it wasn't the substance, but I'd be like, I was chasing something. This time I was like, no, I'm going to go to McShin. I'm going to go there. Like that's where I feel that's where the most success happens for me.
Yeah.
And I know that. And so I had done the McShin program. And so there was like a little grant for like a whatever.
Yeah.
And mom was like, and then I'll help you with 2 weeks. Cause I that's what I asked for. I said, just give me at least 2 weeks where I don't have to try to find a job. And I just let me settle.
Yeah.
Please just let me settle. And mom did. Mom bought me a cell phone, bought me some food, bought me some things. And
they invested again.
I came in this time and I had been on that little work release program and, went through the McShin thing, and they had sent me over to the intensive program. And at first I was like, no, that's not what y'all wanted me to do, but whatever, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And I gave Jesse my phone. And then the next day he's like, you're not paying for the program? And I was like, no. He's like, how long have you been clean? And I was like, technically 9 months now. You know what I mean? Like, and I've been on a work release. I could have easily been using, and he was like, oh, we're just going to put you in sober living, man. And you do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing. And I was in there for like a few days. And then he was like, no, we're going to send you over to Smith House when it was still a male's house. And, and that I took time, and luckily I had some friends that were there already. And then I had another friend in another RCO that was, we all had about the same amount of clean time.
Yeah.
We'd gotten out at different times. And so it was easy. They didn't let me be alone. I didn't have much idle time. Granted, I wasn't working, but when I was ready to work, I had some little crappy job cutting grass, and then I had another crappy job doing demolition.
Yeah, man. That's a playbook for early recovery, actually, man.
Right.
And you'll be grateful for that. And would you agree with this statement? Like, even though they're little crappy this job or demo job, man, it's like when you're sort of working your recovery, that money, a little bit of money goes a lot longer than having stacks of money that used to just kind of like cascade through your fingers.
Right. Evaporate.
Yeah. Yes. And so and I'm grateful because it was exactly the amount of money I needed for exactly what paid my bed fees, give my few little cigarettes, a few little snacks, and I was drinking energy drinks back then, and energy drinks, and do it again next week, and go to my meetings and do all that stuff. And,
that's what I was going to ask. You and your little crew, the little crew of people that you knew, everybody was kind of on the same page with, we're going to hit some meetings. Yeah. We're going to just do positive stuff. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's where I learned this key factor of my Jesse, y'all's Jesse had said, Kyle, you need some core values.
Yeah.
And he asked me what they were, and he was like, that's BS. Those are BS values. Give me some real ones. And so
that's our Jesse.
And so, and so I was like, and he was like, I don't want them right now, tell me later. And I'd come up with them, and it was family, God, and freedom. And when I say freedom, I meant freedom from everything. And I meant incarceration primarily, but freedom from active addiction. And he said, you need to protect those at all costs.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was a profound thing to me. And so me and my little core group of friends, and I just started sharing that thing, and we'd all come up with our core values, and nothing was going to allow us to, not have those.
Yeah. And it kind of gave you like a purpose to protect too. Like nothing's going to divert me from this plan right here. No person, no place, no thing. So you're grinding along. And what I'm hearing too, Kyle, what you guys were doing, and I think this is key too, and that was really good too, the core values. But it sounds like you had just started creating like healthy habits too. Like I go to work, and then I hit the meeting, and then whatever we're doing, the gym, this or that, and we kind of just went rinse, wash, repeat. But I can and Kyle, I can remember those early days like that for myself. Like all that stuff was like exciting and joyful to me because like it was all new to me,
all brand new.
Yeah, like this stuff that's just regular for Joe Blow out on the street, this stuff was like brand new to me,
It's a
man.
new world.
Yeah, like
It's
I'm making my own grocery
unbelievable.
list and I'm
Yeah.
doing this, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't have to chase anymore. I love that because you touched on that, Kyle. And I love that. We're not chasing no more. We're attracting the good things to our life, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so that was the whole little niche. And granted, some are still here, some aren't here. But one
Yeah.
of those core friends, he just celebrated 4 years the other day. And so that's how neck and neck we are in the recovery thing.
Yeah.
And like I'm so beyond grateful for that stuff. Like we would do fun stuff. We'd go skateboard and go to the river, go to the gym, do that stuff. But we were learning how to live life on life's terms and do it not using a substance on the good, bad days, the in-between days, all that stuff. And we all knew what each other looked like on a good day, what everybody looked like on a bad day. And we, we just didn't let each other be alone.
Yeah. And you looked out for each other, man.
Yeah,
and you were forming your early kind of connections right there.
Yeah. And I had built some bonds with him before coming to the recovery house because I'd been in so many recovery houses or been in recovery houses so much.
Yeah.
I had that hard shell of like, I know you're not going to be here long.
Yeah.
But I got lucky. Smith House, like it was like 9 of us that were there for 6 months or more plus.
Yeah.
And some of us had been there for 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 months.
Yeah.
And so that house had really built a mesh, even though some of us didn't like each other, but we were like family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got lucky that last time in a recovery house that worked out that way, too. And so I had kind of let my guard down and whatever on that aspect and was giving back to the house without being a house leader, a peer leader, et cetera.
Yeah.
And that
just
really,
being a solid dude in the houses, right?
Just helping guide some younger people in this process.
Yeah, what a benefit for any kind of person that was coming in with like 30 days, because you think of that like in the grand scheme of things, like 6 months, it's just a blip on the radar. But what the valuable information that y'all had attained, through the process that y'all were going through, that was like so alien to somebody with just like 2 weeks or 30 days like that. So whoever came through there would definitely be benefiting from you guys, and which is kind of what you want the model to look like, really, ideally in a perfect world.
That was the best time I'd ever been in a recovery house, like cohesive wise, nothing really went missing. The milks didn't get stolen.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing something for their recovery. Not, everybody could have done better. I could have done work.
Well, can't we all?
But everybody was doing something for their recovery.
Yeah.
And so that made that last time in a recovery house much, much easier.
Yeah.
And everything happens for a reason. The universe and God lined that up perfectly for Kyle to be sitting here today.
It's like when your mind frame switches too, like God just lays it out for you sometimes. All you got to do is just keep walking through the door. Just keep walking through the door.
Next right thing.
Yeah, when you lock in, because you say you lock, your mind was made up, after the phone call in the jail, like your mind was just made up. There was a switch of some sort. Would you say?
It was a night and day because, like I said, before that moment, literally while I was in the middle of working out, I had the same routine. I was working out, and that's when they said, Goddard to book and up to that moment, I could even have thoughts of like, I wonder what's over in G-Pod or just wondering, and not, but I'm like, whatever. And if I get out, and I know how to be homeless, so like if I don't have nowhere to go when I get out,
I always got that to fall back on.
Right, like I know how to live outside. Like I've got this. That's easy, dude.
Yeah.
And until in my brain, I thought it was easy. Now looking back, it was not easy at all. But that's how I was thinking. I was like, yeah, maybe this will work out. Maybe that will work out. Whatever. And I just didn't really care. When the home plan came up, I was going to lie on the home plan sheet and just say, I'm going to this address, and I'm going to have whoever lie for me. And I just didn't really care. And then that happened, and I was like, no, I've got to figure this out. I will not allow this. And because Jesse had brought a group in there and did the thing. And I was like, I won't let this happen. I won't, whatever it takes to protect me from ever having to be in this situation again, I will do at all cost.
Yeah. And you kind of knew, you kind of knew through experience, the way your disorder comes at you, and you knew that the pitfalls that you had fell into previously.
Yeah.
So this time you took a look at it with clear eyes, right? With like, your disease won't go trick you this way again, So you knew how to kind of lock in, and it sounds like you really guarded yourself really, really well those first early days.
So I still do. And
Yeah.
so,
Oh,
like,
you got to, right?
if anything is a threat to my recovery, and which recovery is my life, and I talk about it all the time, how recovery has given me my spirituality, my physical health, my mental health, all the great exterior things, the vehicles, the fiance, the dogs, the kids, the house, all that stuff. But it's everything that is Kyle is strictly because of the process of recovery. And so recovery is top of list, and it goes, if it's a threat to that, unfortunately, even if it's a loved one that's a threat to it, I go, unfortunately, like, I love you, but you're a threat to my recovery, and I treat you as such.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a boundary that has to be set.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even realize this too. Some of the boundaries you set early on, and then moving forward with your life, it's definitely going to be old friends. Like, those are kind of easy to pass by, but sometimes they come in the form of family. Sometimes they come in the form of girlfriends. Sometimes you got to switch up everything. To really
my
guard
best
this
friend,
thing.
my brother, you know, he's my brother, but we were best friends growing up, and
Yeah.
we lived across the street, and we got into this whole addiction thing, and we were always tit for tat. I'd get clean, he'd get clean, and then one of us would relapse or have a reoccurrence of use, however we want to say it. And then
Well, it was the 80s, so you could say relapse.
and so and we had this perpetual thing that just kept happening, but we fed off each other.
Yeah.
And so, this last time getting clean, he wasn't ready. Thank God now he's a little over 18 months clean now.
Oh, hell yeah.
He wasn't ready. And I can remember him just being, mad at me. Like,
Yeah.
Kyle, you don't love me. You don't check on me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I come by your house and make sure you're alive. And that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you don't answer the door anyway when I come.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure the curtains move when I knock on the door.
Yeah.
And that was as far as I was willing to let that go.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I just want to make sure you're breathing, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I haven't heard from you. You don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
But, and so that was one friendship that I got to mend over this process now. But that was, other than that, I would call other people and check on some people, and be like, hey, have they gotten straight yet? Or do they need help?
Yeah.
Cause I'll give them a phone number, if they need help. And,
but you didn't find yourself falling sort of like into this trap, especially when you start, and this is a trap too. For anybody listening, when you sort of started putting together the clean time, you're doing what you got to do, or the recovery time, because you were actually working some recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you didn't fall in, because some people that haven't quite got into the recovery piece of it yet, but they got some time away from using, they get into this sort of thing where they they're feeling healthy again, they're getting their mind back, they're getting their body back, and then they kind of want to shine that to the old crowd.
Well, and so this is the lie that myself and many have fallen into, that, oh, I can go back to that, or I can go back to hanging out with those people, or I can go back around that place or whatever, and I can do that. No, if Kyle does what Kyle does, Kyle get what Kyle gets.
Yeah.
Right. And my pattern had shown that I cannot successfully use substances. I cannot successfully stay on the street without getting incarcerated or new charges, and so I knew that, like, all that stuff, I couldn't fall victim to, like, oh yeah, let me ride over here and see what so-and-so's doing.
See what's going
Let
on.
me go around here and see what this looks like.
Okay, yeah.
Even now, like with my job position, I got to ride through some sketchy parts of the neighborhood.
Heck
I'm like, dude, man, God, dude.
Get that feeling.
Yeah.
I used to get like nervous riding through there. Now it's just like, I'll get in a little self-pity mode sometimes riding through there. And I'm like, dang, how did I ever let myself get there?
I know, right?
And then I
It's
remember, and I'm like, God needed me to go through that.
Yeah.
The universe needed me to do that, for me to be able to do what I'm doing now. But
Yeah, because they'll seem like such foreign environments where they
So
were home
crazy.
sweet home at one point.
What, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like, like I do not, the part of the neighborhood that I was in, if nobody's familiar with it, but I did not belong.
Right.
Yeah.
But somehow I was cohesively there
Yeah.
and fighting like violence out there. Dude.
Yeah.
And-
yeah.
and
Rough part of town.
I was living through it on a daily basis. And
Yeah.
my brain just thought it was all right. Like
all that became pretty much normal
This is
too.
the
Dude.
world. This is the world. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, I didn't allow that stuff to creep in, because I knew it's like I've touched the stove with the right hand 4 or 5 times. I've even tried putting my left hand on it. I've tried, cut it off and cut it back on and touch it to make sure it wasn't hot. you
Yeah.
know. I've tried it every way that I could possibly try it with Kyle's will. And it never worked out. So I knew, like, oh, if Kyle's having these thoughts, I probably should go hang out with the homies that are going to the meet.
Yeah.
You know?
You knew the pitfalls, and that is an example of like your mind and your spirit healing. You're going in for a different mission now into those neighborhoods, and you have those kind of thoughts. kind of like if you see somebody that's overly intoxicated now, especially on like, opiates was my drug of choice.
Me too.
And so you used to would see somebody like totally nodded out or something, feeling the effects of opiates, and you would be attracted to that, right?
Yeah.
Like, where'd you get that? But now it's more of a
Disgust.
sympathy
It's
for the
like,
person.
man,
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
I'm so sorry, dude, that you're feeling that.
Yeah.
I know what.
Because the web of trap.
Everything that goes with it.
Yeah, everything that goes with that.
It's a total package. You see that one thing, but there's a whole network underneath it.
Yeah.
No, I know. He doesn't. That person probably doesn't know, but I know he's using because he doesn't want to feel what he feels like.
Yeah,
he doesn't want fear, insecurity, worry, low self-esteem, doubt. Which I didn't know that's what I was using over until I did a bunch of recovery work and all that stuff. But
yeah,
it's simple that I was using over feelings, thoughts, and ideas, and I didn't like the feelings I had. I didn't like the thoughts I had. I didn't like the ideas I had.
Yeah.
I didn't want to live. I didn't want to die.
And drugs were definitely a solution at some point
Absolutely.
to that. After a while, you start using drugs and all those feelings are still there. All the depression's still there. All they quit working for you.
Yeah. It doesn't even work.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Limited time offer.
The first few times in recovery it hurt. Drugs are just a symptom. And I'm like, yeah, right. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, what? Heck no, dude. Drugs are the problem.
Yeah.
And then eventually I learned, no, Kyle is the problem.
Yeah. Because once you strip that aspect of it away, and then you're just sitting there with yourself and you're like, oh, you got that irritation and discontent
and I'm still
and
doing
disharmony.
bad stuff clean. I'm still lying out, in the craziest lies. They wouldn't even be legitimate lies. I'd lie to you about my shoe size.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just for fun.
I wear an 11. I wear a 12, dude. Like,
Yeah,
why would I
yeah.
say that? Because I want you to give me a pair of shoes and I want to feel part of.
Yeah.
Like the craziest stuff. Tell a girl whatever I need to tell her to be with her. Whatever. Still clean.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Being in a recovery house, talking to a girl. Oh, I'm a co-founder of this facility.
Right. Whatever, dude. And,
I own this house.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, dang, the behaviors are still there. We're not using. I'm still making bad freaking choices. And but thank God I had a recovery support network around me that like pointed it out and held me accountable and told me how to work on it. And, showed me the way. And like.
Because honesty has to be practiced. I love that, man. Because you that's where you find out how much of a dishonest you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll even think like I am like working an honest program, and then your sponsor will give you like some kind of like project to work on, like mark down every time you, just like the lies you were talking about. Like if you got $10 in your pocket and you say you got 20, that's a lie. Mark it down.
Mark it down.
Yeah, mark it down. And before the end of the week,
I lie the other way now though. I'm like, I got money in the bank, and I'm like, I'm broke.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, I do a lot of that now. Like,
especially if my girl wants her hair done or something. It's a bad week, honey.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
It's rough. I had so many bills come out this week. I can't help you.
Yeah.
We do it on the next paycheck.
Yeah. We got to take care of our responsibilities. So, Kyle, you you're stitching together some time, and I kind of like this time flow because it's a lot of valuable information for anybody new listening, man. I mean, and you're persevering, you're hanging in there. You and your little crew, you get about 6. How long are you in the recovery house, and what kind of led you into where, like maybe some seeds or thoughts were planted that, hey, man, I might want to take my experience and pass it on to the next people. What did that look like?
Are we speaking about going into the recovery work?
Or
are we talking about leaving the recovery house?
All the things. Like maybe where you're starting to think about kind of like PRS aspirations or something like that.
So that's funny. I was working that crappy demolition job. It was paying me well.
Yeah.
But it was crappy. I hated it. I didn't like the people I was working for.
Well, it is demo. You know what I'm saying?
And so and it was like hardcore demo. We didn't even have real equipment, dude. We're
carrying just
bricks.
going there with your bare hands.
Yeah, bricks, sledgehammers, and we're carrying bricks down 4 flights of stairs of these buildings in Richmond. And I'm like, oh. So Jesse one day catches me in the hall here. I don't know. I was coming up right at a year clean. And he's like, hey, they got this intern program for recovery core people. And he's like, you did great working in recovery the last time you worked in recovery.
Yeah.
I would like you to consider it. And so I did. And I didn't want to get back into working in recovery because last time my job had become my recovery.
That's a deception right there.
And so, I had let it do that. I had immersed myself in the work, and I was still going to like a meeting here or there. But I really wasn't doing any real work. I was just kind of going.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I don't need to go. I work, this is what I do for work.
I'm knee deep in this thing all day. Yeah.
And I was never filling my own cup up. So I was very vigilant of that this time when Jesse had asked me. And so I went over that with my sponsor and my network and my friends. And then you know, I got in an argument with the guy, one of the bosses at the demolition job, and you know, he's like, "You're going home," and I'm like, "If I'm going home, I'm not coming back." And the next morning, he called and he's like, "You ready for work?" And I'm like, "I told you I wasn't coming back."
I'm a PRS now,
and I already had my PRS certification. I got it in 2018, and it was still good. You know, I kept it up to date, and so, you know, I came over and I was like, "All right, what do I got to do?" And he was like, "All right, cool." He gave me the paperwork and I signed back up, and yeah, I did a little intern / whatever that was.
Whatever that was.
Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever it was.
Program.
It's like an intern partnership thing here.
Navigator.
You know, and kind of got back into it, and you know, and I kept those boundaries this time, and I've grown a lot in this field.
Yeah,
I've grown a lot in this field, and I no longer work here. You know, I work at the Journey House now.
Yeah.
And you know, and I've been over there 3 years, just grinding away. But I protect my recovery first.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
and that was like an awesome piece of advice, particularly anybody that's going to like transition into working to this field. One, you're not going to make a lot of money at first. You will get paid spiritually. That's what,
absolutely.
that's the currency.
Super fat.
Yeah, that's the currency. Your spiritual wallet will be fat. And that was valuable information too. You know, because these jobs, even though you're working in this field, it's definitely not your recovery. You're going to be giving. You got to receive somewhere. I like the way you got to fill your cup back up, and it can be deceptive. It can be tricky. I did hear a number the other day, and it was like, you know, by kind of like statistically, you know, most CPRSs or PRSs don't make it through their first year. And I think it's because of that, maybe not having your recovery knuckled down, the pressure of it. The money could be an issue too.
Burnout, man.
Burnout. Yeah, burnout. What else do they call it? There's burnout and there's compassion fatigue.
Yeah, that's part of the burnout syndrome.
And
so as people of recovery, we're emotional creatures. So like Steve comes and trauma dumps on me, and I'm like,
then it's your
I
trauma.
keep it cool while I'm talking to him, but
Yeah.
then afterwards I'm like, dang, dude.
Yeah, you never know some of the stuff you're going to hear too.
And
You'll be like, what the hell
you
just
have
hit me?
people's lives in your hands,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
and you know, and it's a rewarding thing, but sometimes it's scary, and it's like, man, like I really could affect this person's life with whatever information I'm giving, or I'm trying to help the situation. I'm trying to help this person through, and so, you know, it's a burden. And I've watched a lot of people come into the PRS, CPRS, RPRS world, and then, you know, they stopped doing what they were doing that got them there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you know, well, you know, I'm tired. I'm tired of the clients sometimes too, you know, like sometimes I'm tired of them too, but like that, that's why I go do the things I do. You know, I do my program that I had in place before this. Yeah. And at all cost, because my recovery is number one. Yeah.
And this can be a very involved job. It can be late hours, long hours. It's low money at first. You never know where these things can lead. It is a fulfilling endeavor though.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
I mean, you're helping people. I was telling somebody in the jails the other day, I was like, I mean, what the hell else are we put on planet Earth for, as to, you know, share some goodwill, help the next person out. What else is there really? And this is a good way to do it in this field, but it is very tricky. You got to have your recovery, you know, you got to be on point with your making sure you're okay.
So yeah, it's definitely not a money thing, dude.
Yeah.
I purposely kept my job. I have my own company. I own a construction fence and deck company.
Yeah.
And so that, you know, that supplements my income from what I don't make, you know, from doing this, but I'm not willing to give this up.
No.
Like, I'm not willing to give this position up or give up the working in this field. I don't want to say this position. I'll give up the position anytime and go to the next one.
Right.
You know, just as long as I'm helping somebody.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's what
the purpose of it all. It means something. It means something to me too, man. I get that totally, and it gets you right involved, right on. As far as helping people, you're right on the front lines. You know, I like it right there. The chaos, man.
A lot of people don't get that opportunity to help anybody ever.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, man. And you see some of the fruits of your labor, even if you were just like kind of like sideways involved. Just a little cog in the wheel is good enough. You know, like no ego. Like you had a little piece of that, like the light bulb, or being the hope, like Cricket was for you.
The hope.
And
light comes on into a client's eyes or a person's eyes or participant's eyes, and you see it. It's like one day, it's like 1 week they're just having the worst week of their life, and the next week, all of a sudden they're glowing, dude.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Whoa, hey,
it's like there it is. Gives me chills. It gives me chills, and it's like there we go. Right. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
It might be 1 out of 30.
Yeah, man.
But it's like,
that's a win.
right.
Because the other 30 could have got a little seed, because just like we said,
Yeah.
we did the first time around, we're not going to get it, but there could be a little seed plan, or they know where to go.
They know where to come back to.
Yeah,
or
when they
go,
decide
or,
to.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
if you know.
Yeah, and they know you're going to answer the phone, you know.
I
Yeah.
always ended up back here somehow. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
Like, and that's because I knew. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
you know.
And where it led to, and you know, this is especially for some of us guys that got a little age on us, and we're starting like in this recovery field, and you start for the low money, and you're doing it, but you're doing it for the passion, not the money, man. And like you said, when you first like took the demo job and the lawnmower job and stuff like that, you had just enough to do what you needed, right? Yep. Yeah, because you kind of take that kind of sense of like, I need what the world has to offer, but I'm just okay, and I'm living okay, and you got something. You got something. You got some serenity. You got some joy and some peace, and you can't put a value on that. You know, you can't put a dollar.
I was
on
coming
it.
from homelessness, true homelessness, not hotel or couch surfing,
Right.
outside homelessness to incarceration to a recovery house, right? And so I was like, dude, this is way better. And this is cheaper.
Yeah.
This is like, this is, and you know, like this is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that when I had to take that pay cut, it was like, it was a kind of a no brainer. You know, it was just like, I've survived on way less.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And I had a much bigger habit.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah.
so
Yeah.
like,
Heck yeah, man.
It's all relative.
But yeah, then you asked me how long I'd stayed in the recovery house. This last time I stayed a little over 9 months, right at 10 months.
Seems to be the sweet spot.
And the first time that I had success in a recovery house, I stayed a little over a year.
Yeah.
And this time it's just the way things lined up. I was hitting these ceilings at the recovery house every 90 days. I'd be burned out of it. Like, I'm moving out.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn right.
You screw this. I'm out of this place.
Yeah. You start feeling the twangs of that when it's about time to go.
And then right as that would happen, the ceiling would bust open and I would hit another growth spurt in recovery. And then I would do it again in 90 days or so. You know, it would happen in the house, or a community meeting wouldn't go the way I wanted it to, or a house inspection, whatever it was. You know, I forgot to do my chore properly that morning. Whatever it was that would send me up. I'm done with this, you know. And
filling
then,
out an exit plan.
right. And you know, then I hit another ceiling, and then because I'd actually left here and went to a step up living program. It was kind of like just pay your bed fees, pass your drug test, you know.
Yeah, some freedom,
no rules,
still some
really.
accountability, but not as much.
Right,
rules.
as many overnights as I wanted, visitors, etc. And I went there for about 2.5 months after that. So really, I stayed in a recovery house for about 12 months again.
Yeah,
and so I just had a tier program, you know, and
yeah, I mean that's what they're designed for too, though. You know, the regular recovery house, and then if a place like offers that the next step up, just a little buffer before you go out on your own.
And that was it, you know. And you know, I remember filling out my exit plan with Jesse, you know, and he's like, "You sure?" You know, and I'm like,
"Yes,
I have to try one day, Jesse."
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like I have to try.
Yeah,
like if I don't try, what am I going to spend years here? You know, like
I got to fly the coop at some point.
If I fail, guess what? I know where to come back to. You know what I mean? And luckily, thank God, I haven't failed yet. And so, you took that opportunity and you ran with it. You finished like I would assume it was like an AmeriCorps or recovery corps. Yeah,
type
it was a
position.
recovery corps position, and then I had transferred. Right before that term was up, I had transferred over to Journey House, and and then I knew what Journey House needed and how I could help them grow. But years later, I'm like, hey, dude, I can help you. I can help you get this right. You know, we can grow this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and Journey House is a great place, man. I refer people to. If I don't have room, I say check Journey House, man. I love it. Y'all right down the street.
He's a spawn of John. You know, John raised him in the recovery world. So his compassion in his heart is almost the same thing as what this was built on.
And Mike's real recovery oriented too.
Absolutely,
right?
Big
time. Yeah,
super recovery oriented. He leads with his heart. But it was all spawned from here.
Yeah.
And
and it's kind of the way, it's kind of like the function of the way just recovery works. And you kind of laid it out too. Like, you know, you see Cricket doing it, and then you do it now, and you don't know who's watching you and probably doing it because, you know, they knew Kyle before, you know, and look at Kyle now shining, and it works the same way here, man. People come and they start doing things for the right reason, and then they want to do things for a right reason on their own. I love the way that kind of like populated Richmond, which has become kind of a strong recovery city as far as recovery cities go. You hear people from other cities and they just do not have this. Well, heck, there's hard enough enough to find a Narcotics Anonymous meeting or something that's
Yeah.
within 45 minutes from some of these underserved places. So if you're in Richmond, it's a blessing because you have places to go to, and Journey House is a good one. And we're going to put their number on the ticker tape, and Cal's real easy to get in touch with.
Yeah.
His buddy Paul, not so much, but Cal.
I know freaking Paul.
Yeah. Paul, if you're listening, you didn't answer for me, but Cal did, and so that wipes the board clean. We're even to the board there. Cal, what are y'all doing over there at Journey House now? Y'all got some new things going on, man.
Yeah, man. So we have 3 entities. We have the nonprofit, which raises money and food and stuff for the participants that kind of help the authentic peer-to-peer program.
Yeah, that's the key right there.
And so which is for the long-term success is what that's used for.
Yeah.
We have the Journey House Behavioral Health, which is PHP IOP. And we kind of went to that model because we kind of always were blending substance abuse treatment with recovery.
Yeah.
And Mike calls it a continuum of care, full circle care, et cetera. And then people would transition to sober living, then step up living, and so on and so forth. And then we have Journey House Housing, which is just the recovery housing. And that's strictly peer run. It does have a housing director and all that stuff. But
I mean, just going by your story too, it becomes sort of like this self-sustaining piece of recovery itself, especially if you get in a house with a bunch of guys like you were,
And so, and that's what we do. And so we don't have like an intensive house. We don't have like, a set house, like a PHP house, an IOP house. We blend them together because we want the hope to be there. Oh, that guy's in sober living. He gets to do this, and his life looks like this. And then, that guy's an IOP. So when I make it from there to here, that's what it could look like for me. And,
right.
And so we blend that together so that there's no, there's a shot of hope. This is what it could look like for me. This is what it could look like for me.
Yeah. And then there's like a smooth transition when you make it to that spot.
Absolutely.
And you already been around guys that are doing it and stuff. Yeah,
and
that's
so,
a cool model right there.
So
man.
we do that because we didn't want to segregate the people on that.
Segregation ended in the 50s. Damn right.
And so we didn't want people to feel indifferent. And we've thought about that model and stuff like that, but we've kind of just stayed with that. And all 3 entities just kind of are there to help each other do their thing, right? Like, not there to get rich. We don't make a lot of money. So that's
story of recovery,
right? The company itself is not it's not millions of dollars a year. We're literally out there trying to help people, and we're also like a community resource center. Even if you're not part of Journey House, people walking off the street, we help them get into their next place.
Man.
Whatever they're looking for.
It's so important too, because if you're the first person that somebody calls, they're in that state of desperation, or
just like show up.
Yeah, something just happened where they pick the phone up. Yeah, just show up.
Show up. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. And you're seasoned in this profession now. You know a ton of places where to get people connected with services.
Absolutely. It's just
and that's the same here at McShin Foundation. If you call up here, even if we're totally full, we're going to get you in the right direction, give you some resources, man.
I'm not going to give you some resource that I know is some humbug.
No, it's places that people that
beware of the Medicaid scan process on that one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the answer right there. But the key right there is just make the call. Make the call, and like Kyle said, you can just show up over at Journey House. A quick Google search, Journey House, man. It's easy to find. You can show up to the McShin Foundation. We'd love to guide you in the right direction. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
And so, Kyle, your journey's brought you along, man. You've recently started kind of a new kind of, I don't know, like when you're working in recovery, you'll find that at certain places, you'll wear a lot of different hats, but during this, you've gained a new hat. So what are you doing over there now, man?
We're doing outreach and admissions. I've been in admissions for the last year and a half, 2 years. And so I'm doing outreach primarily, some admissions. I'm doing some fundraising for the nonprofit as well. And that's through outreach as well. And so it's been a new journey. We were trying to develop the position for outreach, and we had a bunch of people come interview, and they wanted these grandiose amounts of money.
Heck yeah.
100,000, 120 grand. And it's just like, we're small, man. We're a small company. We couldn't afford it. And so I offered like, hey, I'll step up. You know what I mean? Like, I'll step up and we'll grow it. And if we need to find somebody else to do it, I'll at least grow and create the position. And I'll step into the next role. And it's kind of what I've done at Journey House the whole time. I just went from one role to another, and as needed, and just to keep the wheel rolling.
Keep that ball rolling. Yeah, man.
And So I just stepped into that role February 1. We started getting it ready, into last year, beginning of this year. And then I technically started the first week of the first week of February, really starting to try to go out, do outreach while handling admissions as well, all the referrals.
Yeah.
I still have, still intake calls still come to my phone sometimes and still handle all that, especially if it's from my referral sources, et cetera.
Yeah, definitely. And think the ball's rolling over there, man. I can't think of a better person for the job over there, man. That you'll probably excel in that like beautifully, man, because you care and you answer your phone.
Too, though. Your outreach, we're almost the same.
Yeah, I mean, we're cut from the same cloth, big dog.
Right.
We're out there. We're out there doing the thing, man.
Mike had asked me before coming over, you think you'd be good at outreach? I said, dude, Travis is great to speak to. Anybody would love to speak to Travis, even if like.
That's what we do. I mean, God gifts everybody with a special talent. You know what I mean?
He gave you a mouth.
Yeah. I'll take what I can get.
That's right. Dude, I love it. I love it.
But there's got to be that key ingredient to reach the people, man. You got to be ready for all scenarios. I mean, I like to say I'm a Marine. I never served in the military, but I definitely like to, adapt and overcome, man. And Kyle, you got that quality too, man. You got it, bro. And I know that Journey House is just going to grow and grow. Anybody that listening, again, Journey House is going to come through the ticker tape, man. Reach out to Kyle, man. Reach out to me at McShin. Reach out to McShin, period. And we'll get you going. Hey, Kyle, this has been a great podcast, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all actually finally getting me over here. I don't know. That's like 2 months ago.
Kyle. Well,
it's been a couple of years since I've been in here. It was much different. We had tables in here and whatever.
It's definitely different.
It's a different vibe.
This
man.
is much better, by the way.
They stepped it up. They got us some furniture. They got us some microphones. Man.
Where'd you get the furniture from?
Yeah, man, this is top notch. This is IKEA, probably.
It's familiar with
IKEA's little cousin. Man.
One of our sponsors gave us.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Thank you, sponsor. Shout out to our sponsors.
In-house sponsors.
Yeah, in-house sponsors, man. They're looking out for us, looking out for the podcast. Kyle, anybody that's about to pick up that phone, man, or they might be incarcerated, man, and they haven't quite got. They haven't had that experience where they just lock in, like the experience you had, or the experience for me when the pain got great enough and I was just I was tired of getting my butt kicked out there, and God in his infinite wisdom decides to give us a perception change of some sort, but you're out there, anybody that, is listening that might come across this, that's suffering, they're incarcerated right now. They might still be, in their cars, or they might not even be to that point yet. Do you got any words for them, man? Any words of inspiration?
Was so cliche. Just don't give up on yourself, right? Like, don't give up on yourself and then give up 5 minutes before the miracle, all this stuff. Just don't give up. If that thought of I want something different happens, act on it then.
Yeah.
Act on it then. And if you don't know how to act on it, just call somebody. There's helplines, the 899 or not, whatever, the
988.
988. Just call one of those. If you don't even know what to do, just call. And that, as soon as you have the thought of like, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm tired of this, act on it then.
Yeah.
Act on it then, even if you don't know how to.
Yeah.
And just do not give up on yourself. Like, you have to be alive to recover. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, don't end it. Don't, just keep trying.
Yeah.
Keep trying. And I promise you, everything that happens to you is the best possible thing that can happen to you once you get a higher power, right? And so that when I was talking about that bad stuff, everything that happens to you is the best possible thing that can happen to you. You might not see it right now, but I truly believe that. And so just know that whatever you're going through, there's a purpose in the pain. But as soon as you're ready, as soon as that thought crosses your mind, act on it then. Yeah,
you got to jump right on that, man. Willingness is a finite resource with this disorder, man.
That's true.
And so many other voices will cloud your head, to talk you out of this thing. So if that thought like filters through the chaotic noise in your brain, you got to grab that one and act quickly. And when you do act, there will be people on the other end of the phone, man. There'll be a Kyle, there'll be a Steve, there'll be a Travis, there'll be a whoever, and guide you right on into the right direction, man. And what those experiences can flip into, the possibilities are endless. Even if you don't see them clearly for yourself right now, the possibilities are endless. Look at Kyle. I mean, he took this thing and he flipped it and he's running, and he's helping people, man. And And I love that, man. And we're into that same thing, man. We love that. That's our job. That's our, as Honesty would say, that's our jam, man. We
That's
like
our
that
jam.
stuff.
That's right.
That's
Honestly.
right.
That's our
Yeah,
jam.
and it's a good jam band to be in too,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I've said, there's a lot of things that could be worse. I'll tell you
Right,
that.
for sure.
And this is pretty good, man. Well, I love it, Cal, man. Thank you for stopping by today,
Absolutely.
man. We wish you
Absolutely.
all and Journey House all success over there to continue to help
Yeah.
people and get them connected to that services, man. And we love you, man. Thank you, Cal.
We
Thank
love
you for
y'all.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and with that,
Appreciate
we'll
you, Steve.
damn right, Steve.
All
Steve's
right.
the man, by the way, guys.
Yeah, Steve, the man
Thank
with
you.
the
Thank
myth,
you.
the legend, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man behind the camera, man. Well, this has been great, man. And with that, we're gonna throw up the deuces and say peace.